Hi, I'm Carly Cornell.
And I'm Harvey Cornell, and this is Dragon Phoenix Games.
Today we're going to show you our cooperative adaptation of Carcassonne. This is part of our series of games for friends and lovers. And Harvey, why don't you tell us about it?
Okay, normally Carcassonne is a competitive game, but this adaptation allows you to play cooperatively with 2, 3, or 4 players. And the only thing that you have to do to adjust is each player's the number of meeples they start with will vary depending on the number of players. Another big difference between this and the competitive version is that in the cooperative version, we don't use the point system. So we won't use the point board. We won't count points as we play our tiles and meeples. But instead, what we're going to do is we're going to start with our meeples, and we're going to have to place them all on the board before we run out of tiles. We also kind of have not only our own tiles. I've got our own meeples. I have the red meeples. Carly has the black meeples. But we also have at-large meeples. In this case, we chose yellow as the at-large meeples. The at-large meeples can be placed by any player. And as you see, we have a setup where we've already played some turns and placed all but one of the at-large meeples. And then only Carly can place hers, and only I can place mine. Now, the way you place the meeples is when you make a play that will complete something that would normally score at least 8 points, according to the Carcassonne rules, then you can place a meeple. There's 3 ways you can do that. The first way is a road. So in this example, here's a road that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tiles. And so when one of us did complete that, they placed one of the at-large meeples on there as a reward. Now, when someone completes something worth 8 points, the person that completes it has to place a meeple. You can't just leave it without a meeple and let the other player do it later, or you do it later. You have to place it when you complete it. Otherwise, you don't get to place something there. So that's the one way, is the road. Another way was with the cities. We have several cities that we've already completed here, and here's a city that had 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles, so therefore worth 8 points, and so a meeple was placed there, and likewise those are at least 8-point cities and received meeples. The third way that you can place a meeple is when you have a monastery in the board and you complete the placement of all 8 tiles surrounding the monastery, then you can place a meeple on the monastery. So that's how we place them, and remember, we have to place the at-large meeples first, and then all of our own meeples in order to win the game before the tiles run out. Now, normally in Carcassonne, you draw 1 tile and then you place it. But what we do is we allow each player to have 3 tiles in front of them, because that lets them exercise a little bit more strategy in deciding how to play the game and where to place their tiles. So we each have 3 tiles in front of us at all times until they run out at the end of the game. So now we're going to show you a few example turns, and we're going to start with Carly. It's her turn.
Okay, so on my turn, I have been studying this for a little while because I have my tiles here and can do that. And I want to place this one that has some road ends on it next to our monastery, so that we can complete that. And I'm going to put our last at-large meeple there on the monastery. So now we're eligible to put our own pieces out. It's Harvey's turn.
Carly will draw a new tile.
I'll draw a tile. I always forget this one.
Okay, now, not only did she finish our at-large meeples, but by putting a cap on the end of this road, I see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If we had one here, there'd be 7, 8, and there's a cap there, so 9. If I were to complete that, that road would be long enough for me to play a meeple. And so now that the at-large meeples are gone, I can place my meeple on that road. And fortunately, that also completed all the tiles around this monastery, so I'm able to place 2 meeples on that play. So that was a really good play.
Yeah, it is. High five. Of course, he's getting ahead of me, so I feel a certain urgency to do a little catching up here. And the good news is that if I cap this city here, that has 2, 4, 6 plus a shield, which makes it an 8-point city, then I can put my meeple there.
Good, good.
And I take a new tile.
Right.
Remember, I remembered.
So I'm still a little bit ahead, but it's not, so one meeple ahead is not that bad. But looking at my tiles, I don't see anywhere I could go that would allow me to complete an 8-point structure or anything and place a meeple. But, so what would Spock do?
I don't know.
Something logical, I'm sure.
I imagine.
Well, how about this? I see that you have a little cap piece over there. If I play this here, then your cap would give you 2, 4, 6 plus the shield is 8. That would allow Carly to place another meeple. And since this is a cooperative game, I'm going to try to help her place her next tile.
Okay. Thank you, my love.
You're welcome.
So I'm going to go ahead and place that cap and put out my next meeple. So that brings me up even, which is a good thing, because as he said, if we get to the end of the game and we're struggling with only one of us has meeples out there, you end up with throwing turns away, and sometimes that causes you to lose. So that's how you play this game. We really enjoy it. I think we find that we win about half the time. So we like, you know, when we lose together, we feel even more determined to win the next time. So that brings us back to the table. So that's what we've got for you today. Please check us out at www.dragonphoenixgames.com. If you go there and sign up for our mail list, you can get the complete instructions for this adaptation, and there's also one there for our previous one, which was Catan. There will be others there over time, and we hope you enjoy. Thanks.
Thank you.